there's the first hub for cleaning up. All these can be polished, and whether I blast them or not, they need stripping. With the paint stripper, what you do is you don't expect it to be done in one go. You've got to keep going back to the sink. You wash it off with water. That's as much as that's getting. This paint stripper is just regular household paint stripper. It's not special automotive stuff or anything like that. And all I'm doing with the brush here is spreading it. Just washed off under the tap, that is. Admittedly, I put a little bit of washing up liquid on it and just agitated the stuff off with the brush. So I just run it to the tap like that. But now it's degreased. So I'm just going to do the same again. Just going to put some more on and repeat until satisfactory. Just a quickie, I'm having a look at the rims, and not surprisingly, where the bolts go through, the metal's been distorted, so that you can see it sort of sticking up, and it's fairly rusty anyway. These will be sent off to the blasters once I've stripped the paint off it, because it makes it cheaper. I just want to show you. This is me straightening those divots. There you go. Right. Okay, so I shall just do that around the whole wheel until it's entirely straight, so that when the sides are bolted together, once they are painted and blasted, they don't, they match up properly, and they don't have this big gap between them because all the metal's distorted. The rims are also getting stripped, and I'm still going to send these off for blasting because it's better for the rust. I've straightened them now. I'm going to strip the paint off them. I'll check them again for any sort of dings. I should probably take any sharp edges off just so that the paint sticks to them better, and I will have these 2-pack painted red. Look at this. This is probably going over the top, but oops, it says moving the camera. This is definitely going over the top, but it's what I do anyway. So I've got the paint off the rims, and you can see now, if you've got yours or anything like this and run your fingers around the edge, you'll normally find that this is fairly sharp. Well, paint doesn't stick to sharp corners very well. It just doesn't. It prefers a rounded edge. So I always just run the edges off. You might be able to see on that some dark spots. Those dark spots are low spots. And we get rid of those low spots by just rubbing it with some sandpaper all over. And you might be able to see just there the sharp bit where the moulds met. Maybe see that just there. You can certainly feel it with your finger. Well, there is another one, but it's been smoothed. That's it, as it's going to the blasters. So these are back from the vapor blasters. They look great, and in terms of getting down between the fins and that kind of stuff, fabulous, love it. There's the front. Now, I will not be replacing the open bearings that came out of it. We'll be looking at modern sealed bearings. So I don't need a grease nipple there, which is why you can see a grub screw sticking out of it. It won't stick out of it when I've tightened it in. I've just been and bought the thing. I'll just gently. Now, when you are polishing anything, make sure that you stop short of any ridges that you want leaving in. Don't focus on one particular spot. Keep it moving. Don't start with a really rough grade just because you think it's going to save you time. It won't. You will spend longer getting the scratch marks out that you've put in it. Now, this paper I'm using is 120. there isn't any shortcuts to this, and on the plus side, it doesn't cost anything. Although it's free, it's too expensive for anyone else to do it. So you can only do it for yourself, and you can only do it if you've got the patience. Brush the dust off and hit it with some fine wire wool, mainly so that you can check that you aren't paying any particular attention to any particular spot. You can't put anything on the low spot, so all you can do is take the high spots down, and that's why we polish with an abrasive. Scotch pads. These things are great. Absolutely love them. But there's very little mess using the Scotch pads. Now I've sandpapered it, Scotch padded it, and wire wooled it, and you can see, hopefully, scratches. So I've got my item in a bit of a tray to catch the water, and I've got a thingy of water here, a tub of water. I put soap in it, and it helps keep your hands clean. I've been around it a couple of times with the 400, and maybe you can still see the scratch marks of the 120 paper, which is why and that's okay, that's all right, because I'm not done yet. I'm going to pop an examination polish on. Okay, so that I will go back to using a wet and dry. Okay, this is not me going, oh look, it's finished. Quite the opposite. This is for me to see just exactly how far off it is. Now from that, I've just got a clearer idea of how far I have to go. Oh, scratches everywhere. Rubbish. Rubbish, rubbish, rubbish. 600 this is, and I am getting to the stage where those scratches that were put in with the 120, the very first paper that I went in with, are starting to go. 800. Uh, 1200. Don't need a great deal of skill. You need a great deal of patience, not a great deal of skill. This is if you can rub, you can turn very average components into something really special. Let's pop some Autosol on, some 000 wire wool. Let's take this dull off with some clean wire wool. Now, no power tools, just a hand polish. Okay, let's give it a look at that. There's the first polish. Okay. Now, I said about being able to read newsprint. You should be able to read in that reflection there. This is a DJI Action 4 camera. And this will get a greater polish. So we'll get shinier than this. That's the first polish that I would consider, I wouldn't be going back to wet and dry from that. This is after spending a night just in front of the TV, polishing with purple because it doesn't contain ammonia. So although I've started off with the gold Autosol contains ammonia. So get it as shiny as you want with gold Autosol, but then polish it off. Look, like you can actually see me even talking in the WhatsApp. This is what you want to be able to see. That level of definition in your reflection. There we go. So it's regular wax. Get it in my brush. This is just car polish. Get it in there, brush it all over there, give it a little bit of time to dry, then polish it off. And that is all I'm going to do to it. And there's the finished product. Very happy with that. I hope you'd agree with me when I say that they really do set it off. For me, I wanted it to look like it wasn't neglected. It was deliberately left in this condition, and I do know how to polish and I do know how to maintain, but I also know how to preserve. And it was a conscious choice, not laziness. I know you'll find this polishing useful for all sorts of aluminium. I'm not going to do the rest of the bike, I don't think. I'm going to reserve the right to change my mind, but I don't want an immaculate one that looks like it's just come out of the showroom. I want one that shows its age. Hope that was some use. Thanks ever so much for watching. See you next time.